three-man rush. Now, so many Giants around. Pass intended for Jackie Smith. And now, look at Ken Parker go. And we've been expecting it all day. It was just here, and you knew it. And there it is, folks. It's like an ugly boil. It was bound to go, and it has gone.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. And before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much, everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you give this video maybe a thumbs up, or maybe leave a comment below, or possibly share this video, it would mean so much to me. But just anyway, please thank you just so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, we got the Monday night game tonight, but before we start off with a little preview of the game, how about that Cowgirls, huh? Yeah, huh? Cowgirls looking pretty good yesterday. With a 19-9, they got a whopping 3 field goals. Ooh. Powerhouse offense wasn't look so powerful against the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Yeah, really. I mean, you got Dak, you got Zeke Elliott, right? I mean, ABCD Lamb, Gallup, you got all the boys out there. You 3 field goals, really? Wow. Pretty freaking pathetic, huh? Man, gotta love it. And ABCD Lamb went for a ball in the end zone, came down, smashed his head on the turf there, and he got a concussion, so he may not be playing Thursday. So they won't have Mari Cooper and ABCD Lamb may not be playing. So Cowboys, you know, a couple of their offensive weapons, and I mean, if you saw the game, Zeke got tackled and his leg got bent back and all that. You know, that didn't look too pretty either. I'm surprised he came back in the game. But, you know, so the Cowboys got a little dinged up there. A little dinged up. Not looking so good. They had 3 field goals, no touchdowns. ABCD Lamb with a concussion. Dak, man, another impressive game. 216 total yards passing. Wow. Wow. Of course, he had 100 in the fourth quarter. I think he had 100 yards passing after 3 quarters. I mean, once it was the same thing with the game against the Broncos. He had nothing the first three and a half quarters, and then, the garbage time, everything is a pass play. So, he gets some yardage and all that and everything. But he had 5 yards per pass attempt, which is absolutely pathetic. He threw 2 interceptions, which of course is absolutely pathetic. No touchdown passes, huh? He got sacked 5 times, and the Cowboys are now 7-3. So Cowboys ain't looking so good, are they? I just love that. How about them Cowgirls, huh? Yeah, huh? Oh man, it's a beautiful day. All right, but the game tonight. All right, well. Time flies, huh? It's 2 weeks already since the Giants last. Actually, over 2 weeks. So we got a little bit of the injury news, right? We got Lorenzo Carter. He's out with his ankle. Not that, the way he's been playing, not like we're really going to wind up missing him too much out there. And Nate Ebner, we waited for the guy to he had surgery. He was trying to make the rugby team. He didn't wind up doing that. He wound up having surgery, so the Giants were waiting for him to come back, and he came back, and pretty much he's been hurt the whole time he's been back. He's always been on he had a quad, and now injury. I think now he has a knee problem. So anyway, Sterling Shepard, once again, he's out with a quad. Caden Smith, he's a little questionable with his knee. Apparently he's going to have a knee problem all year long. Not exactly sure what's wrong with it, but every week he's listed it with a knee. Saquon, he's got his ankle. He's questionable. Hopefully we can get him on the field. Hopefully. Devontae Booker, now he's questionable with his hip. Now the thing was, against the Raiders, he took a hit. He went out of the game, didn't come back in. After the game was over, the reporters were talking to him. Hey, how's your hip? Oh, it's good to go. I feel great. Woo, let's go, baby. Well, I guess apparently it's not that good. Here it is, over 2 weeks later, and he still has a problem with his hip. So we'll have to keep an eye on him. I mean, it's a shame because he had those back-to-back over 100-yard total, games. 100 yards of offense. So if he can't go, or if he's hampered because of his hip, that'll be a shame because he was doing very good in Saquon's absence. But hopefully maybe we can get Saquon back. Hopefully we get one of them on the field. It would be just so wonderful. Colin Gillespie, right? He has a problem with his calf. He's questionable. Then of course Andrew Thomas, he can't come back to practice. The Giants have 3 weeks to get him off the IR. So I mean, possibly I'll have to wait and see if he is able to able to play tonight. I mean, that would be so phenomenal because against the Tampa Bay, the pressure that they put on and all that, right, that would be very, very important. Then of course, the big one is Logan Ryan due to COVID. Now, when last time we talked to, apparently he's out, Logan Ryan. You talked to Joe Judge last time I saw him at a press conference. He said, don't rule him out. I mean, he has to go 24 hours. He has to get 2 negative COVID tests within 24 hours apart. So if he took a COVID test, like say, which would have been yesterday, at 12 o'clock noon, and it was negative, then come today, say 12 o'clock noon, because he's not going down with the team is already down there. But if you take another one at 12 o'clock noon, which would be 24 hours apart, and it would come negative once again, Joe Judge says they would get him on a plane and fly him down, and he'd be ready for the game. So did he get a negative test yesterday? Don't know. All you do know is that if he's playing tonight, okay, he got his 2 negative tests. But Joe Judge, I think it was Saturday, he was talking to the reporters and all that. He said, don't rule him out. He's out right now, but don't totally rule him out. If he gets his 2 negatives, he's not sick, he's not hurt, or anything. He can play. He just has to get 2 negatives. So if that's the case, he'll be playing. Now, as far as with the Buccaneers, right? They got a few injuries. Of course, the big one would be Antonio Brown. He's out. But the other one is that the Gronk has been out. He's had some ribs, cracked ribs. I believe punctured a lung. So he's been out for a while, but so he's coming back and he's questionable. So there's a possibility he'll be playing. Then you got Kwity Paye, the nose tackle. He has a problem with his knee. He's doubtful. So I believe last week, one of the last plays of the game, or right at the end of the game, he got hurt. So I mean, he's a force there in the middle. So if he don't play, that'll certainly help the Giants. Raheem Nunez-Roches, he's questionable. He has an ankle problem. All right, and we got D. Delaney. He's a cornerback. He's got an ankle and a concussion. He's questionable. So they got some questionable guys. I said Kwity Paye probably is not going to play, and Antonio Brown is definitely out. Now, how this is going to kind of help the Giants, right? Now, if Logan Ryan can't go, you're going to see J.R. Reed, all right, and you're going to see a lot of Mr. Duct Tape, Julian Love out there. Help, obviously, with Xavier McKinney, or Zay, as they call him. So those will be pretty much your safeties. But, I mean, the Logan's had a great, really good year. I mean, a lot of tackles, his experience, knowledge, leadership, and all that, really will be missed out there. I mean, Julian Love can try to, take his place. I'm sure he'll do his best he can, but, Logan Ryan will be missed out there if he's not playing. But with this, with the Antonio Brown, I mean, they still got Godwin, they still got Cameron Braid, O.J. Howard, Evans, if Gronkowski's playing, I mean, they're still going to have some weapons. But, I mean, Antonio Brown is, a little special breed right there. I mean, he has some off-the-field issues and stuff like that. And, you just kind of wonder, like, if he wasn't as good on the field, how many people or teams would be, like, trying to maybe sign him or whatever like that. But, I mean, him not being on the field is very helpful for the Giants. The Giants are going to have their hands full with all the other weapons, and of course with Tom Brady. But him not being on the field will be huge for the Giants. Now the Bucs defense. All right, so start talking about the Giants offense. All right, what the Giants were able to do against the Raiders. Probably not going to work against the Bucs. A lot of it's going to have to be almost kind of reversed, like how Daniel Jones threw the ball 20 times, completed 15 passes for 75%. Didn't have a lot of yards passing. A lot of stuff was quick because it was like drop back and you got Ngakoue. I mean, before you know it, Daniel Jones stands back too long, he's going to get sacked. So he had to get a lot of quick passes. He completed 75% of his passes, but there were a lot of short passes. But what they were able to do was to run the ball straight. They ran the ball 31 times. They got well over 100 yards rushing. Devontae Booker had a very good game. They ran the ball 31 times, and so the run game straight ahead, nothing wide, just straight north and south, wound up working very good. And when applicable, they had the short passes in there, but they ran the ball more than they passed. Not going to work against the Bucs defense because the Giants' offensive line just is not that good. The Bucs defense against the run, they only give up 79.8 yards per game. Very, very stingy. They've only given up 6 rushing touchdowns so far. So basically, they give up every 3 games. They give up 2 rushing touchdowns. So they're pretty stingy against the run. They've given up an average of 3.7 yards per carry. Their defense, so their front is very, very good. They got some in the front 7 of theirs is very, very good. So the Giants are going to have to change things up. They're going to have to change their approach from what they did, obviously, against the Raiders. Running the ball 31 times, they're asking for trouble. They ran it for 31 times for 149 yards. That's probably not going to happen, even if Saquon's in there. So Daniel Jones, Daniel Jones was very efficient. He only had 110 yards passing against the Raiders, but he had 1 touchdown. Nice throw to Evan Ingram, but he had no interceptions, which was huge. Right? But as far as passing, right, the Tampa's defense, they're tied for 8th worst. All right, they've given up 17 passing touchdowns. So basically, each game they give up at least about two passing touchdowns because they played 9 games. They're 6-3. All right, but if you can get the ball out, you got a chance. You can't hold on, because especially with our bad, weak offensive line. Hopefully Andrew Thomas can get in there. That's going to help because we could use him. But they're number 2. All right, they in all the league they blitzed 161 times. They're number 1 with a blitz percentage of 40.3%. Basically, 2 out of every 5 plays they're bringing a blitz. They're number 1 in the league as far as blitzing. So, I mean, with our weak offensive line, Daniel Jones standing in the pocket, trying to wait for something downfield to open up, ain't going to happen. He's going to have to get stuff out, right, and get it out quick. Can't hold it. You got it. I mean, I know he's focused down the field, but you got to have some sense, Oh, there's a guy about to cream me coming from over here. Okay, let me hold on to the ball or something. You know what I mean? So, I mean, see, he can't stand in the pocket too long, all right? They're tied for 9th in the league with 43 quarterback hurries. They're number 5 in the league with quarterback knockdowns with 39. They're number 5 in the league with quarterback pressures at 104. All right, but okay, they're like middle of the road as far as sacks. So they're not, huge with sacks, but I mean, they blitz, they get hurries, they knock you down, right? So that they cause havoc in there. It's kind of like Leonard Williams or whatever. I mean, like he'll get pressures, he'll get hits, he'll get hurries, but sometimes he doesn't always get the sacks. He doesn't get the sexy stat, right? But he gets everything else. Well, it's kind of like the way the Bucs defense is, that pressure you, blitz you, hit you, knock you down, not maybe necessarily sack you, but they're going to cause some havoc in there. But, okay, the one thing is, if you can get the ball out, all right, is that they are number 4 worst, all right. And I thought the Giants were bad. The Bucs giving up 69.5% completion rate, so they're giving up almost 70% completion rate. So if you can give them a little bit of time and you get the ball out. I mean, if we can get Saquon out there, put him out wide, make him a receiver, let somebody cover him one-on-one. Good luck and God bless, right? But I mean, I'm looking in the injury report. I don't see no Evan Ingram. All right, I don't see no Kyle Rudolph. I mean, Caden Smith. Apparently, every week for the rest of the year, Caden Smith's going to be in there with a knee problem. But I don't see anything with Kenny Galladay. Oh my God, it's a miracle, right? Kadarius Toney. I don't see anything with him. I don't see nothing with Darius Slayton. So the only thing I said is, Sterling Shepard is not in there, unfortunately, because he's like, as far as what he's done so far this year, he's our best guy. Now, Kadarius Toney, I mean, there's a couple games he looked like the second coming of Jerry Rice. I mean, just good. I mean, able to get open and you hit him. And then against like the Cowboys, I mean, he had the 10 receptions. Then the following week against the Rams, in the first drive, he caught 3 passes in the first drive, and then the pain was too much, and he had to come out. And basically, since then, he's been like nothing. It's like sometimes it's like, man, this guy is so good, and other games go by. It was like, was he hurt? Was he active in it? I mean, but I mean, Sterling Shepard. I mean, the connection he seems to have with Daniel Jones, because this is their 3rd year together. I mean, when Sterling Shepard's out there on the field, he's really good, and he's the guy you want out there, especially for the short stuff. Now, hopefully they can start maybe get something with Kadarius Toney. They can start hooking up, which would be fantastic. Kenny Galladay's not so much that. He's a little more of a push the ball down the field kind of guy, which is, could be problematic because Daniel Jones may not be able to stand in the pocket that long. So, but I mean, if we can get Saquon out there, maybe get him out wide, or even coming out of the backfield, that could be huge. And just get him out in space, dump the ball off to him, let him do his thing, right? So the Giants, they'll have the work cut out for them. I mean, they're gonna have a hard time running the ball. Daniel Jones is gonna learn to protect that ball. No stupid, no bad turnovers, no sacks. I mean, as far as that fumbling the ball and Tampa gets the ball, can't get penalties. That like what Oshane Ximines did, which erased a Darnay Holmes interception against the Chiefs. We can't do stuff like that. Right? We can't beat ourselves if we plan on having any type of a shot. I mean, you figure, because the Bucs have lost 2 games in a row, right? Tom Brady hasn't lost 3 in a row since 2002. Last time I checked, that was quite a while ago. All right. However, Tom Brady did lose 3 in a row since that time to the New York Football Giants. Let us not forget. The Super Bowl after the 2007 season. Then the next time Tom Brady played the Giants was during the 2011 season. The Giants went up to Foxborough, beat the Patriots in Foxborough. Eli Manning hit Jake Ballard about a minute or so left to go in the game, and the Giants won that one. Snapped the Patriots had a long home winning streak. Giants went up there, snapped that. Then, of course, later on that season, we beat them in the Super Bowl. So the Giants have beat Tom Brady 3 times in a row. So, but then again, that was 10 years ago. And there's nobody on that team that's on the team right now. So, But, I mean, Tom Brady, he lost 2 in a row. He's going to be laser focused on this one, right? There's nothing pretty much that Tom Brady hasn't seen. There's nothing that the Giants are going to do that's going to surprise him, defensive-wise. And that might give him a look here or there, but, I mean, sooner or later Tom's going to figure stuff out. So the Giants are going to have a hard time really trying to, fool him. After this game is over tonight, Tom Brady will have thrown for over 3,000 yards. He'll be like the number one, because everybody else, I mean, he's only a little, like 100 so yards behind like the number one guy. I mean, so after tonight's game, I mean, he'll be number one as far as yards thrown. Like no ifs, ands, or behinds about it. He's number one coming in, and he hasn't even played tonight. And as far as number one, as far as with touchdown passes, he has 27 touchdown passes. He's played nine games, 27 touchdown passes. So basically, he's averaging 3 touchdown passes a game. So he's on pace to throw 51 touchdown passes this season. So really good. He has 27 touchdown passes. 9 games. Daniel Jones has 8 touchdown passes in 9 games. He has 3.5 times the amount of touchdown passes that Daniel Jones does. They play the same amount of games. He has 3.5 times the amount of touchdown passes that Daniel Jones has. 3.5 times. We're only halfway through the season. I mean, my God. That's unbelievable. So I mean, there's nothing he hasn't seen. There's nothing that's going to, fool him or anything like that. And he's going to be. I'm sure he's going to be locked in. So Giants are really on defense going to have their work cut out for them. The Giants are going to have to score at least 27 to 30 points if they're going to have a chance in this one. I mean, the Giants, the last few games have been, gave up 20 to the Chiefs, 3 to the Panthers. They gave up 16 to the Raiders. Yeah, I don't see that happening. I don't see that trend continuing here. I mean, not at all. They're going to have to score at least 27 points. I'm thinking at least, hopefully have a shot in this game. Now, another one of the problems, Tom's only been sacked 12 times all year. So he gets back there, he knows what he's doing, he's dancing, bam, the ball comes out. It's hard to get to him. Very hard to get to him. The Bucs are number 1 in the league. They score 31 points per game. The Giants are a little over 19. Big difference. Big difference. The Bucs don't run the ball. They don't need to run the ball, but they're number 27 in the whole league. They run and they get 90.9 rushing yards per game, which isn't certainly isn't a lot, but I mean for their case they don't need to. I mean they're number 2 in the whole league. They average 406 yards per game on offense. They're number 1. They average 315 passing yards per game, which is by far the first, number 1. I mean, for you to average 91 yards a game rushing is pretty good when you're throwing the ball for 315 yards a game, right? So I mean, averaging over 400 yards a game on offense. I mean, they're like a machine. The Giants' defense which is a problem, is number 30th in the league with pressure. Their pressure percentage when they rush the quarterback, 18.9%. They're almost dead last. The Giants' defense is number 27 with quarterback knockdowns with 21. The Giants' defense is number 27 with quarterback hurries with 30. The Giants blitz 25% of the time, which is like number 14. It's like very middle of the pack. They don't blitz. It's not like they blitz well a lot like the Bucs, but they're not like the least either. So they do some blitzing, but the thing is they just don't get to the quarterback. Now they're 7th worst. The Buccaneers are 4th worst, but the Giants' defense is 7th worst. They give up 67.9% completion. So basically, they give up 68% completion, and they're going up against Tom Brady, and we don't have Logan Ryan in there. All right, they're tied. The Giants are tied. All right, Number 23 in the whole league. They give up 4.5 yards per rush, which is not very, very good. They're number 21 in the whole league. They give up 122.6 rushing yards per game, which is not good. You know, the Giants got, you know, I mean, they're starting to, you know, the past few games, oh yeah, you know, I mean, against the Raiders, you know, the Raiders got into the red zone 6 times. I mean, the Raiders just kept walking up and down the field. Raiders had over 400 yards of offense. The Giants, you know, bend but don't break. They only gave up 20 points to the Chiefs. If the Giants played a more disciplined and Darnay Holmes' interception didn't get taken away, maybe they win the game. Maybe they give up even less points. So, you know, they shouldn't be too banged up at all going into this game. Patrick Graham's had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. You know, so hopefully, you know, the Giants can do at least a decent job. You know, maybe what Patrick Graham should do is maybe take a look and see what the Washington football team did against, you know, the Tampa Bay Bucs, because they only gave up 19 points. You know, last week when they beat the Bucs, Washington football team, 29-19. The Bucs only had 273 yards of total offense. They only had 14 first downs. They had 53 rushing yards, and they had 220 passing yards. So you might want to see what they did. You know, part of the problem is that the Washington football team's got a good front, and they didn't have Chase Young in there most of the game, but still they have a good front. They can get a lot of pressure. I'm sure that caused them some problems. I mean, the Giants, unfortunately, can't do that. So the Giants, you know, are going to have to mix up their disguises, their coverage, and try nothing big. Don't give up anything big. A lot of what the Giants do is keep everything in front of them. Let them throw the ball. They complete it. You come up, you make the tackle. You make them drive 10, 12, 13-play drive. But the one problem with that is that Tom Brady doesn't mind doing that. Tom Brady gets back, you know, dances a couple times, boom, ball's out. Dances a couple times, boom, the ball's out. Tom Brady doesn't mind getting 5. Some quarterbacks don't like it. Some quarterbacks get a little itchy, and I got to go deep. You know, they want to start throwing deep. Tom Brady doesn't mind that, right? He'll get the ball out real fast, pick the 5, 6, 7, 8-yard plays up, and just walk his team all the way down the field, and they either get a field goal or a touchdown out of it. So, you know, if we don't wind up winning in the beginning of the season, I don't know anybody who had looked at this game on Monday night, you know, in the beginning of the season, Monday night Giants at Tampa. We're going to win this one. I mean, you know, you could say it, but do you really believe that? If you did, I really kind of feel sorry for you. Can we win this? Absolutely. On any given Sunday / Monday, right? Absolutely. Of course we can. Are we going to? Probably not. But like I said, but at least if we do wind up losing this one, you know, we kind of had this maybe one penciled in at the beginning of the season as a loss. So this would be 3-7. This will be, then we have 7 games left. We got 7 games. We got a bunch of winnable games coming up, all right, toward the end. Next week, we got to play the Eagles. Now, the Eagles are starting to look pretty good, all right, so, you know, so we're going to have a work cut out for them. But, I mean, you know, if we don't wind up winning tonight, it's not the end of the world. Hopefully, you know, nobody expected us to beat the Chiefs either on the Monday night a few weeks ago. Hopefully, it's you know, if we do wind up losing, you go out, give your all, play a good game, and if you lose, you tip your cap to them. Just don't make it look like the game against the Chiefs, when the Chiefs were basically trying to, hey, no, Giants, no, come on, win the game, here, win the game, win it. No, I mean, just don't lose it. You know what I mean? Don't lose it. Let the other team win. If the Bucs go in and they win, as I said, tip your hat off. Just don't go in there and lose it. I mean, nothing's more frustrating than, you know, spending 3 hours and a game that you could win and you just, for some reason, you just refuse to win it. That's the absolute worst. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo!